Think you know the world? Think again. You might be surprised to learn that some of the facts you learned in school about geography are actually totally bogus. We're talking straight-up myths here, people. From mountains that aren't as tall as you think to continents masquerading as countries, get ready to have your mind blown. We're about to dive into 10 of the most common geography myths. And trust me, you've probably fallen for at least one of these. Stick around to see how many you got wrong. I'm betting it's more than you think. Alright, let's talk mountains, baby. Everyone knows Mount Everest, right? The big kahuna, the king of the hill, the highest point on Earth. Well, hold your horses, because that's only half true. See, Everest does wear the crown when it comes to elevation above sea level. It's a whopping 29,029 feet. That's like 8 Burj Khalifas stacked on top of each other. But here's the catch. Measuring from the bottom of the ocean floor to its peak, there's another contender for the title of tallest mountain, Mauna Kea in Hawaii. This bad boy starts way down on the ocean floor and rises over 33,500 feet from base to summit. That's almost a mile taller than Everest. Now I know what you're thinking, but Jimmy, most of Mauna Kea is underwater. That's cheating. And you're right, it's not exactly a fair fight. But it just goes to show that there's more to mountains than meets the eye, or the sea level for that matter. So next time someone tries to tell you Everest is the tallest mountain in the world, hit them with some Mauna Kea knowledge and watch their minds get blown. Okay, time for another myth that's been floating around for way too long. The idea that you can see the Great Wall of China from space. I'm talking with the naked eye, no fancy telescopes or anything. And guess what? It's totally bogus. I know, it sounds crazy, right? This fact has been repeated so many times it feels like common knowledge. But trust me, astronauts have confirmed it's just not true. Here's the deal. The Great Wall is super long, yeah, but it's also pretty narrow, only about 20 feet wide in most places. And from space, that's just too thin to see without some serious zoom. Plus, it blends in with the surrounding landscape, making it even harder to spot. So, what have people been seeing from space and mistaking for the Great Wall? Could be rivers, highways, even mountain ranges. The point is, the Great Wall is an awesome feat of engineering, but it ain't visible from space with the naked eye. Alright, this one's for all you geography newbies out there. Let's get one thing straight. Africa is not, I repeat, not a country. It's a continent, and a massive one at that. We're talking 54 incredible countries, each with its own unique culture, language, and history. You've got your North African nations like Morocco and Egypt, known for their ancient history and stunning deserts. Then there's sub-Saharan Africa with countries like Kenya and Tanzania, famous for their incredible wildlife and breathtaking savannas. And let's not forget West Africa, home to countries like Nigeria and Ghana, with their vibrant music scenes and delicious cuisine. To think of Africa as just one big country is like saying North and South America are the same thing. It's just plain wrong and does a disservice to the incredible diversity and richness of this amazing continent. Okay, picture this. You're standing on the equator, the imaginary line that circles the Earth's waist. The sun is directly overhead, beating down on you with all its might. It's gotta be the hottest place on Earth, right? Wrong. While it's true that the equator receives the most direct sunlight, it's not actually the hottest place on the planet. That honor goes to some pretty unexpected locations. Take Death Valley in California, for example. This scorching desert holds the record for the hottest air temperature ever recorded on Earth, a mind-blowing 134 degrees Fahrenheit, or 56.7 degrees Celsius. And then there's the Lut Desert in Iran, where surface temperatures have been known to reach a sizzling 159 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 70.5 degrees Celsius. So why isn't the equator a furnace? Well, a lot of it has to do with things like ocean currents, altitude, and cloud cover. These factors can all influence temperature, making some places hotter than others, even if they're not directly on the equator. Alright, let's head down under for our next myth-busting adventure. Australia. It's a country, right? Well, yes, but it's also a continent. Confused? Don't worry, you're not alone. See, Australia is unique in that it's both a country and a continent all rolled into one. When we talk about the country of Australia, we're usually referring to the mainland and the island of Tasmania, but the continent of Australia is a whole other ballgame. This massive landmass includes not only the country of Australia, but also the island of Papua New Guinea, and a bunch of other smaller islands. It's the smallest continent in terms of landmass, but it's still huge. So, next time someone asks you if Australia is a country or a continent, you can confidently say both. Just be prepared to explain the difference because it's a bit of a head-scratcher for some people. Let's talk deserts, folks. When you think of a vast, scorching wasteland, the Sahara Desert probably comes to mind, right? It's the largest desert in the world, right? Wrong again. The Sahara is undoubtedly massive, covering a whopping 3.6 million square miles or 9.2 million square kilometers of North Africa. But believe it or not, it's not the biggest desert on Earth. That title goes to a place you might not expect: Antarctica. Yes, you heard that right. The icy continent of Antarctica is technically a desert. Why? Because a desert is defined by its lack of precipitation, not necessarily its temperature. Antarctica receives less than 8 inches or 20 centimeters of precipitation per year, making it drier than the Sahara. So, while the Sahara might hold the title for the largest hot desert, Antarctica reigns supreme as the largest desert overall. Time to dive into the world of rivers. The Amazon River, it's a beast, stretching over 4,000 miles through the heart of South America. It's the longest river in the world, right? Well, that's where things get a little murky. You see, the title of longest river is actually a bit of a debate among geographers. While the Amazon is undeniably massive, some argue that the Nile River in Africa deserves the crown. The Nile has traditionally been considered the longest river, with a length of around 4,132 miles. So what's the confusion all about? Well, it comes down to how you measure a river. Depending on which tributaries and channels are included in the measurements, the length of both rivers can fluctuate. For now, the debate continues with no clear winner. But one thing's for sure, both the Amazon and the Nile are awe-inspiring rivers that play vital roles in the ecosystems and cultures of the regions they flow through. Let's talk about Russia, the largest country in the world. It spans a mind-boggling 11 time zones and covers a massive chunk of the globe. But here's a common misconception. People often think Russia is entirely located in Asia. While it's true that a significant portion of Russia lies within Asia, it's not the whole story. Russia is actually a transcontinental country, meaning it spans across 2 continents, Europe and Asia. The Ural Mountains, which run north to south through the country, are often considered the dividing line between European Russia and Asian Russia. So, while the vast majority of Russia's landmass lies in Asia, a significant portion of its population and major cities, like Moscow and St. Petersburg, are located in Europe. Alright, time to clear up some confusion about the world's largest island, Greenland. Now, you might hear people say that Greenland is the largest country island, but that's where they're wrong. Greenland is, without a doubt, the largest island on Earth, covering a massive 836,330 square miles. That's bigger than Mexico. But here's the catch. Greenland is not a country, it's actually an autonomous territory of Denmark. While it has its own government and parliament, it still falls under the Kingdom of Denmark. So, technically speaking, Greenland is the largest island but not a country. We've all seen maps with those perfectly straight lines dividing the world into neat little time zones, right? Well, here's the thing. Real-life time zones are anything but straight. In fact, they can be downright wonky. While it's true that time zones are based on lines of longitude, they're often adjusted to follow political boundaries, geographical features, and even historical quirks. This results in some pretty strange shapes and zigzags on the world time zone map. Take a look at the time zones in the United States, for example. They twist and turn to follow state lines, creating some pretty odd shapes. And then there's China, which operates on a single time zone, even though it spans 5 geographical time zones. So next time you're looking at a world map, don't be fooled by those seemingly straight time zone lines. The reality is much more complex and interesting. So there you have it, folks. 10 geography myths officially busted. I bet you're questioning everything you thought you knew about the world now, right? Which myth surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this mind-blowing journey through geographical misconceptions, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos. And hey, if you're feeling extra adventurous, share this video with your friends and see if they've fallen for any of these myths too. Until next time, stay curious.